Well, now that we understand that the Webmasters dashboard is where we come to check the status of our web properties on all the Webmaster Tools Staxio can talk to, it's time now to find out how we can add our websites and get them listed on Bing Webmasters and Google Search Console. Follow me. Allow me to start with a recap from our previous video about the Webmasters dashboard. So we learned that this is where we check the status of all our web properties on all the available search engines. And we want to work towards having as much green on this dashboard as we possibly can. And that's exactly what we're learning about in this video series. And having them all grouped on the same table is where we will do most of our status checking from. But we've also considered that having each webmaster tool on its own individual table with its own particular set of properties and actions would also be something interesting to have. So look and behold, here we have it, the Google Search Console dashboard and the Bing Webmasters Tools dashboard. So let's start with the Google Search Console first. So actually, before we begin, one important thing I'd like to point out the difference to is between the top Webmasters dashboard and each individual table here. Because here we have a bit more granular information about our properties and the individual details that are specific to each webmaster, like for example the sitemaps we have submitted on Google Search Console. And let me show you that by clicking on the visibility icon here, where we get the list of sitemaps that are linked to a particular property, along with additional status fields such as the number of errors found, if any, the number of URLs, if any of them are pending, if we have any warnings, and if any of our URLs have already been indexed or not. And again, no different from our Webmasters dashboard, we want to see as much green here as we possibly can. And now let's have some fun. So the footer of our table allows us to run the following tasks: to access Google Search Console, to add all our Blogger sites on Google Search Console, and to add Blogger Sitemaps to the Blogger sites that we have selected from the table. Now, clicking on the Google Search Console link opens a new tab in our browser with, you guessed it, the Google Search Console for this Gmail account. Let's close it and go back to Staxio. Now, the Add All Blogger Sites button will add your existing Blogger sites automatically on Google Search Console. And that's all of your Blogger sites, all of them, every single one with a single click. So what does the Add Blogger Sites button do? If the name of the button wasn't enough to switch a light bulb in your head, let me show you how long it would take if we had to do this task manually. What we'd need to do first would be, of course, to go into our Google Search Console, which we already know can be done from Staxio by clicking here. Then once inside the Google Search Console, we will click on the drop-down list of existing properties. We would then click on Add Property, paste or type in the URL of the blogger we want to add. Click Continue, and finally click Done. Woohoo! We added one property. Isn't that amazing? Now let's rinse and repeat all the steps again for every single individual Blogger site you have. let's go back to our drop-down list and no, just kidding. No, not gonna do that. We're gonna go back to Staxio and click the Add All Blogger Sites button, and then boom, kapow, yeah, all our Blogger sites are now on Google Search Console automatically. Yep, we can also do this on Bing Webmaster Tools, and yes, we can add other websites too, and we'll be learning that next. But there's still one last bit of fun we haven't covered, so let's find out what the Add Blogger Sitemap button is capable of. The Add Blogger Sitemap button adds sitemaps that are specific to Blogger only into Google Search Console. So we first check and select the Blogger site we want to add sitemaps to from our table, and then simply click the Add Blogger Sitemap button next, and we're done. It doesn't get any easier than this. And again, let's put this task into perspective. Should we have the need to do this manually? And this is what you'd have to do for one Blogger site only. And the first step is to again access Google Search Console. Second, click on the drop-down list of existing properties, and you should know the drill by now. Select the Blogger site, click on the Sitemaps sidebar menu option, enter the sitemap URL, click Submit, and finally click Got It. And that's one sitemap done. We have 3 more to go, or however many you'd like to add. But Staxio adds 3 sitemaps automatically for you. Now multiply all those clicks by 3 for each sitemap for each Blogger site times the number of Blogger sites you have, and you tell me how many clicks you'd have to do to achieve all this. It's a gazillion clicks, right? And Staxio adds 3 Blogger sitemaps on all the Blogger sites you selected from the table with a single click. Now I hope that you can now begin to understand how much time, effort, and money Staxio is saving us, plus the power you now have at your disposal. We are testing 2 more Webmaster tools, and that's Yandex and Baidu, the Russian and Chinese tools. So if all goes according to our plan, they will also be available here for us to play with in the future. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. That's a wrap for now. See you on the next one, where we will talk about Bing Webmaster Tools. Cheers.